Hi everyone! Today we're diving deep into a fascinating part of our brain that plays a crucial role in how we experience reward, motivation, and even how we cope with trauma, the nucleus accumbens. The nucleus accumbens, often abbreviated as the NAC, is a small structure located in the basal forebrain. It's part of the brain's reward circuitry, which helps us evaluate the value of different stimuli and the actions we take. When we experience something pleasurable, like indulging in our favorite dessert or receiving positive feedback, our brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter that plays a vital role in reward processing. This dopamine surge in the NAC reinforces the behaviors that led to the reward, encouraging us to repeat those actions in the future. Think of dopamine as the brain's feel-good chemical. The NAC is the area where it really makes its impact, creating a sense of pleasure and satisfaction. This is why rewards are so motivating. They trigger a complex interplay of neurochemicals that push us towards certain behaviors. But the NAC does more than just respond to rewards. It also helps us with motivation. It acts as a decision-making hub that assesses the potential rewards of different actions, guiding us toward goals that are likely to yield positive outcomes. For example, when you're deciding whether to study for an exam or watch your favorite show, the NAC helps evaluate which option is more rewarding. Within the basal ganglia, there are two main pathways: the direct pathway, which facilitates movement, and the indirect pathway, which inhibits movement. The NAC interacts with these pathways to modulate motor behavior based on reward signals, and this means it doesn't just help us want things, it helps us act on those desires. Now let's discuss the darker side of the NAC. Its involvement in addiction, when people use drugs, can artificially increase dopamine levels in the NAC, which creates intense feelings of pleasure. Over time, this can lead to compulsive behaviors as the brain learns to prioritize drug seeking over natural rewards. The NAC reinforces these drug-related behaviors, making it harder for individuals to break the cycle of addiction. And this is why addiction is often so difficult to overcome. The NAC can become conditioned to respond more to drugs than to natural rewards like food or social interactions, and this reinforces harmful habits and alters how we experience pleasure. Let's shift gears and look at how trauma affects the nucleus accumbens. Trauma can lead to significant changes in how the NAC operates. For many trauma survivors, this can result in decreased sensitivity to natural rewards, a phenomenon known as anhedonia. Activities that once brought joy may start to feel empty or unfulfilling. Trauma can also lead to hyperarousal, a state where individuals are excessively alert to potential threats. And this heightened awareness can lead to shifts focusing away from the rewards and create a cycle of decreased motivation and pleasure. The NAC may respond more strongly to stressors than to positive experiences, impacting overall well-being. Social withdrawal is another common response to trauma. When individuals isolate themselves, they miss out on positive interactions that typically activate the NAC. This lack of engagement can further diminish motivation and pleasure, making it even harder to reconnect with rewarding activities. In summary, the nucleus accumbens is a central player in our brain's reward system, influencing our motivation, pleasure, and responses to trauma. By understanding how it functions, we can better support those affected by trauma and addiction, helping them reconnect those rewarding experiences in life.